Hey everybody out there, this is Kris Nicholson. Check this out. Took a lot of hard work. I put the action in because I wanted to test it out, and you're not going to believe it, I tuned this baby up. All the strings are there. All the strings are on the piano. Very, very hard work, a lot of work. I have to put the felt strips in between the notes and in between the strings. Now, I had a problem with the bass section because I thought I fixed this area and my idea didn't work, so I have another idea to actually do it. But say for instance, the low notes, they're still low. Sound good, but they're still low. They gave me a defective third string. And I called Mapes and they said they're gonna replace it, so. Sometimes strings come in defective, so that one's defective. But from right here, as you see I'm pressing all the way down. These are all loose pins right here, so there's a little solution that I have, and one of my friends told me what to do, so I'm gonna end up doing it. But the rest of the piano is just fine. Really, really good. All the strings are on there. And you're not gonna believe it, I only tuned it twice. This is its second tuning. I could not believe it when I did it and it stayed. So I'm gonna play it. It has no dampers because I decided with the dampers over here, I'm not gonna use the used dampers. I'm gonna get brand spanking new dampers because I don't trust these new ones. I mean, I don't trust the ones that I have already. So I'm gonna take each and every one of those off, and I'm gonna put brand spanking new dampers on there. So let me play it for you. I'm gonna put this up high so you can see it. And let me play it for you, what it sounds like. As I said, it has no dampers, and all the notes. By the way, it's tuned a little bit higher. I tuned it to A450 instead of A440. The reason of that is because I let it get used to A450, and then I do that to all the pianos that I use strum. A450, and then after that I tune it back to its original pitch, or sometimes it just falls right down to its original pitch, which is very good. But yeah, the notes over here, they're loose, but I'm gonna take the strings off and put something inside of it so it can stay. That's a defective note. So right there is good. Nice, right? So, how did I do already? It's still not finished yet. I have to, meanwhile, I'm gonna wait on the dampers, and I'm gonna let this thing cure a little bit. What I mean by curing is that I'm just gonna let it sit. I'm not gonna tune it for a couple weeks, and just let it sit. At the same time, I get to regulate the action. This action is not regulated. It feels kind of weird. And also I get to finish the rest of the parts. So like all the hardware and everything like that, I'm gonna I'm gonna clean the brass, every brass thing that's on there, so I can already attach it. The lid is gonna be refinished. I mean, it's already refinished, but it's gonna be rubbed down like how it is to the rest of the piano. And so I can put that back onto the piano. You know, it doesn't have to wait for me to actually do it. There's lots of other stuff that I can do with this piano. Meanwhile, I'm going to be waiting for the dampers. Once the dampers are in, I'm going to set each and every one of them accordingly. But before I do the dampers, I have to fix the low notes right there. And there's one note right here. So that's another loose pin too. So excuse me. So that's another loose pin right there. So I have to fix that and all these other low notes right there. But as in the rest of the piano, it's fine. It's really, really good. I'm very proud of what I did. It took a lot of work. The Beckett's right over here. I noticed that when I tuned them up, some of them came a little loose. So I'm just gonna let this sit. Let it sit for like 2 or 3 weeks or even a whole full month and let it go down, and then I'm going to readjust each and every Beckett the way it's supposed to be, and I'm going to fix everything from the duplex scaling if something is a little off or whatever. There's 2 tie-offs of this piano, plus what I did is I followed the chart. It started from 20s, like there's 4 sets of 20s to 19s to 18s and 17s and 17 and a half, I'm sorry, 16s. I'm sorry, 16 and a half, then 16, 15. You just heard that. I just tuned that, so I gotta figure out what note that was. But yeah, I'm letting it sit. It's gonna make some noises and creaks and everything, and let it all do that. Then after that I'll retune it again, but back to its normal pitch, which is A440. Over here, I should have showed you. Over here, I had a hinge pin snap. So I was actually fixing it, and the hinge pin just went poof, and the string just went up, almost hit me. I used one of the I forgot what they call it, but one of the metal pieces that you have underneath the keys. Not from this action, from an older action that I had, and it worked perfectly, and I made it into a hinge pin. I had to drill into the plate and make it into a hinge pin, and that note is actually, that note's this one out right here. But not bad, not bad. Thank you so much, everybody. I just wanted to show you the progress of this Steinway C. It's going very, very well. I'm very, very happy. Once I revoice it, I'm going to revoice it today. So it's going to be a little bit sharper, which I want it to be. But once I revoice it, it's going to bring it out, the piano. I want it to be a little bit louder, a little bit sharper. That's it. I got more work to do on this thing, so slowly but surely. Thank you so much, everybody. Bye-bye.